Manchester United is discussing a loan move for Casemiro to Galatasaray. This is what is coming through from Turkey. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb. Here is a quick morning shocking update, I should say, in every sense of the word, as just days after that forgettable performance for Casemiro, it is reported now that he could be joining Victor Osimhen in Turkey. What exactly is happening? I'm here to give you all those details. Like, share, subscribe, and let's get into this early morning report or rumor or speculation, if I should say. Now, an Italian, rather a Turkish journalist, Ali Nasi Kokchok, Ali Nasi Kokchok. I'm not Turkish, guys, so you can pardon me if I don't pronounce that right. But that's the idea of his name. This Ali is the first name. Is reporting that Galatasaray are in talks with Manchester United to loan Casemiro for 1 year. This is coming in, and of course, this is not a report we've had yet from what you would call your bigger sources, but the Turkish journalist who I'm quoting, who posted this, has got almost 300,000 followers. Now, you don't get 300,000 followers on X if you're not fairly credible. So there is reason for us to give it attention and talk about it, because considering the situation concerning around Casemiro, you really think it is possible, because first of all, Casemiro by character is not happy, after the disrespect he must have felt, following his two errors that cost Man United the game against Liverpool. And of course, his reaction of leaving at halftime immediately after he was substituted, then he chooses to leave Old Trafford. Then the wife going on Instagram to defend him, to show the trophies, everything around. And of course, couple this with what happened before, because it's not the first time Casemiro felt disrespected. Just a few the last season, just towards the end of last season, when he was playing as a centre back, and people were calling him out for the errors he was making, then he had to go in the media and defend himself in an interview that he gave, I think, to MUTV. So you think about all this, and you knowing the Casemiro, the personality he seems to be, judging from that interview he gave defending himself, it shows you that he's not the kind who loves to be cornered. I think he knows who he is. He thinks he's still the great Casemiro. I think without a shadow of a doubt, he should be the most decorated player in the English Premier League currently. He must be the most decorated. I don't think there is a single footballer who has won a half of what he won at Real Madrid. Add on the few he has won at Man United. He must be the most decorated, if not in terms of numbers or quantity, in terms of quality, because of the multiple Champions League titles and everything. So he's a big time player, but he's aging. And even if that is so, he doesn't seem to be exactly comfortable with how he's being treated when he has a bad game. He probably feels he should make a mistake. United concedes a goal, and we are saying, no, Casemiro is won multiple Champions League titles with Real Madrid. We cannot say a thing about him. He doesn't make mistakes. I don't know how he thinks about it anyway, but that would be silly, wouldn't it? But anyhow, so this report for me can hold some water, because you don't expect, with the arrival of Manuel Ugarte, knowing the Casemiro that I know, you don't expect him to be okay being on the bench day in and day out with a 23-year-old Manuel Ugarte, who probably he idolizes. Of course, in his interview, Ugarte mentioned Sergio Busquets and Juan Roman Riquelme as the two players he idolized as a young player. One of course the Argentine Riquelme, and the Spanish Sergio Busquets. But Casemiro certainly is there, because prime Casemiro was just as good as prime Sergio Busquets. So it is definitely possible that Manuel Ugarte looked up to Casemiro in a way. So how on earth, knowing that background I've given you about the personality and character of Casemiro, how on earth is it going to be easy? Is he going to be okay being on the bench with Ugarte starting ahead of him, with Kobe Maino and Bruno Fernandes in the middle? It will be difficult. But also for Eric Ten Hag, it will be also difficult for him to bench him. You know that Casemiro wants to be on the pitch all the time. He's a top earner. He's a big player. He's a personality. He's a respected player. You saw what he did when he was benched from the FA Cup final, when Amrabat was given his starting place. He opted out of the squad. That's what a big player does. He can do that. So, and such can divide the dressing room. Such can cause tension in the dressing room. So the reality is it's possible, and probably it could be a good solution for Manchester United to loan out Casemiro, to get Casemiro out because of what happened in the previous game. It is not entirely because he can never play good. That was just a bad day in office. But the reaction of the fans, of the media, and himself, most importantly, showed you that he did not even, he couldn't take it himself. It's either he did not, he's so disappointed in himself, it's either that, or he felt disrespected because he was not backed by the manager, because he was pulled off for a young Toby Collier to come on at halftime. Uh, Probably in his entire career, he has never been substituted like that in such a manner. So you think about that and you think, if we going forward, which Casemiro are we going to have? Where is his mental space going to be? What is his mindset? So isn't it better he goes out of England, because the fans will still be scrutinizing every move he makes. One single mistake like this, and he will still make mistakes because all footballers do. He will be destroyed. So loaning him out for a season and selling him next summer, for me, because he has got 2 years left on his contract, loan him out for this first year, pay a portion of his wages, and maybe bring in someone on loan to back Manuel Ugarte, if you're not going to trust the young Toby Collier, because the reality is Casemiro, it's going to be difficult to manage Casemiro if he stays at Man United. That's in all honesty. Whichever you look at, you think about it, it's going to be very difficult. And again, I insist, it's not about the football. It's about the reaction to what happened in the last game and knowing his personality. Because if Casemiro was a simple character, after him being substituted, he would have easily stayed on and start on the bench as a professional, mature player, and swallow humble pie. Had a bad day in office. It's painful. Yes, I know I'm human, but let me stay there on the bench and watch the game and support the lads. And but his reaction and the reaction of the fans, and of course how Ineos and Eric Ten Hag might have felt seeing how he reacted to that substitution, it only sort of aggravated the situation. It added more salt to an injury for me. And I don't see him staying comfortable at Man United. Now, with the solution there, a 50 million, in fact, 60 million euro solution in Manuel Ugarte, who is very eager to join Manchester United. If you watch his interview, the first exclusive interview he gave to Man United, he shows you he was waiting for months for this. It has come, and all he does is win balls. He loves to win balls for a living, and he's just that's him. That's what he's meant to be in Uruguay. That's the kind of football they play. They fight because they are few in numbers as a country, and he explained it. They are very few in numbers as a country, so being able to compete in major titles, you want to do your all, and give your all, and do everything you can in your power to fight for the badge. So they are fighters by nature in Uruguay. So if we have brought in such a fighter, 20 years of age, certainly Casemiro is not going to get space to play. So what does it do then? What do you do to him? Let him move on, because he's a player who wants to be on the pitch, who doesn't seem to accept the fact that he's aging and that younger players should be given the chance ahead of him. So for me, that loan move for Galatasaray, and there are people who will attack it and say, of course, go defensive, and that's disrespecting Casemiro and stuff. But it's not about Casemiro; it's about what's best for the club. But even for him, even if you choose to make it about him, even for him, the best place for Casemiro now, just like it was for Jadon Sancho, best place never about his football. The best place for Sancho, we all agreed that was always going to be away from Man United. The best place for Casemiro is away from Man United. The best place for the young players is for Casemiro to be out of the dressing room, because there is nothing now. There is nothing to learn from Casemiro. The way he carried himself because of being substituted reminds you of Cristiano Ronaldo. The issues Ronaldo had, being wanting to play every game even when he's aging. When you have big players, some of these players are almost bigger than the managers. It's difficult for a manager to make a sober decision about them. You're always going to be forced to make decisions to favor them. That's the issue that Roberto Martinez had with Cristiano Ronaldo at the Euros in Portugal, with Portugal. Ronaldo was not good enough, but he had to be playing. He would play 90 minutes even when he was doing absolutely nothing. But there's no way Roberto Martinez was going to pull off Cristiano Ronaldo. There's no way a young kid was going to start with Ronaldo on the bench and they will play comfortably, because Ronaldo is their role model. So his presence alone makes the whole job for the manager, but also for the creates a sort of a tension around the team. So it's the same thing with Casemiro. Most Man United squad, I think the average age of the United squad now is about 22 or thereabout. All these are players who looked up to the prime Casemiro at Real Madrid. He's there now, and you're benching him to play Toby Collier. How on earth is Toby Collier going to play and train with him with a smile on his face? It's impossible. He will not feel himself. He will be timid. He will be scared. The guy is a top earner. He's a big time winner. He's a big personality. So the best thing is to excuse that personality, pull him away for the good of the squad, for the greater good of the squad, but also for the manager to free the manager and let him make decisions completely on merit. So for me, this whole talk of him going to Galatasaray might be a godsend. How true it is, we'll just have to wait. But for me, I think there is a certain truth about it, and I think it would be such a timely and brilliant idea to solve what is a brewing problem at Man United because of Casemiro's presence and the arrival of Manuel Ugarte. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe, and give me your opinion on whether you think Casemiro should be loaned out or he should stay and run out his contract.